welcome back to my channel. So for the next few days I'm going to be doing a series of Meet Me in the Garden paintings. The first one I added yesterday to my channel. I'll have a link for that in the description below for you guys. And we're going to go ahead and get started on this one right away. I'm just going to go over the colors quickly and I will be posting them down in the description below. We've got titanium white, pale green, lemon yellow, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, neon pink, some more yellow there just to mix my warm colors up, neon orange, phthalo blue, cobalt blue, cadmium red. I may add a few other colors along with this during the painting process, and if so, I will not forget to add those down below as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using my number 11 flat brush, and we're going to start with the background, work our way up to the foreground where we're going to have a beautiful garden house, and some beautiful flowers in the foreground here leading into a grass path, and go from there. It's going to get my brush a little bit wet, and I'm going to take a little bit of white and a little bit of phthalo blue, and I'm just going to tap right at the top. We're working on 11, I think it's 12 by 18 primed canvas. I've primed an old painting with just black paint, a couple of layers, and I waited for it to dry off first before beginning this painting right now. So I'm just going to add a little bit more white in here, and I'm just tapping with my brush. Just going to scumble around a little bit, make it look kind of fuzzy. This is just a little bit of sky showing before we add our trees. So just a little patch like that. For our trees, we're going to use a mop brush, any mop brush that you feel comfortable using. I'm just going to tap in like that. It kind of breaks the bristles up into little sections like that. So I'm going to kind of hold my brush like this and make a V. And then right up to the top. And then this is going to be our house line, so we don't have to worry about that. Right in this section is our house. Okay, then I'm going to come in with a little bit of yellow ochre mixed with my sap green. And I'm just going to start doing light little taps. I'm going to add a little bit more of the yellow ochre this time. So little taps and then flicks. Okay, now I'm going to take, I want it to feel like there's that, it's like that golden hour, that magic hour time of day when the sun is really starting to go down and you get those golden warm rays from the sun, or just a glow from the sun. So I'm going to take some warm colors over here, my neon pink and a little bit of orange. I'm just really lightly just going to add little hints of this in here. And this might dry a little bit darker as it sets into the canvas. If that happens, which it probably will, we can just go back to it later. I'm going to take a little bit more of my yellow ochre, tap it into these warm colors, and apply a few more. These are just branches back here. Just a few more like that. And just scumble right in here. So I'm going to switch over to a mini fan brush, and I'm going to go over and do a brighter highlight right in here. Same colors. Tap into that yellow ochre. Maybe tint it with a little bit. Well, let's take a little bit of that yellow too. A little bit of white. A little bit more orange, pink, a nice warm color like that. And I'm going to start on an angle. I have a feeling that it's kind of sweeping down like this. You can just use the corner of your brush too if you want. And right down here I've got a little bit more pink. Maybe there's some little pink flowers way back there. It goes up on a slight little angle like that. Okay, all right, so we're going to take my big round stipple brush or mop brush and tap into my sap green. I'm going to start at the top. Tap, tap, tap. So it's going to be really dark in here and then slightly lighter here on the outside. While I've got this little bit of paint still on my brush, I'm going to begin my little path. Slide back and forth. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow, a little bit of pale green, and I'm going to do little gentle taps, turning my wrist, change that direction, little hints of it, little pockets of light, catching some of those tree branches back there. Then again, we'll leave some spaces, some lines in here for where the shadows are falling. Pick up some more of my sap green where it's going to be nice and dark right down there. All just very rough at this point. I'm going to take a little bit of white, a little bit of cobalt blue. Again, these two colors. And I think right under here we'll have a bit of a cool shadow, a little bit more of the blue. Just scumble it around there a little bit. Tap into that lighter blue. I think we're ready to start our house. That's going to come next. We're going to begin our house, and then we're going to work our way up to the foreground with more of the detailed flowers. So we're going to use Cobalt. I'm just going to mix the color up over here. A little bit darker. A blue and white house. I love a blue and white house. Reminds me of my grandparents' house when I was growing up as a kid. I'm going to come down. We're not going to think too much about it, guys. Just go in with make that first initial line. The first one is always the scariest. So it's like part of a triangle, okay? I'm going to take some blue right in there. Brush straight. I'm just moving it over. This just kind of creates those shingles. I take it right above the canvas there. Okay, so that And then there's going to be a bunch of foliage right here. I'm going to come down, little line, go like that, down, down. Just do a few little lines like this. Maybe we'll have some windows right in here. A little panel of windows. Make that a little bit more narrow. It's farther away. Then there's another roof line right in here. So let's take a bit more of our blue. This line here is going to come out a little bit longer than this one. Okay. Then we're going to have a little window right in here. We'll just paint around it and leave that space. Now this here, we're going to have some, not moss, but just like a beautiful vine. Maybe a bunch of ivy that's kind of growing over around that corner of the house right there. Let's just kind of blur this up a little bit. Just make a few little lines like this. They'll all come together soon. Actually, I forgot one step. We're going to leave a little space like that. That's going to be shadow right in there. This line right in here is going to be shadow. So I'm going to come, even though it's on an angle, I'm going to hold my brush straight. Okay, we'll have some windows in there. Really narrow ones though, because of the angle of the house, the angle we're looking at it from. Hardly any paint left on my brush from that, and maybe just a little softness in here. I'm going to cut in right here with some more shadow. So I'm going to make a dark color. Cadmium red, sap green, phthalo blue, a little bit more phthalo. So it's really, really dark, almost black. And I'm going to cut in right there, and then again right there. So we have two lines, one on the top and one on the bottom there. And then right down in here. Just tap in lightly like that. go ahead and add a little bit more. This hint of red in here is quite nice with the green. Take a bit more of that cadmium red. I know it's going to dry a little bit darker than that. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow ochre, mix it a tiny bit with that dark color, get a nice little line of it on the tip, and carefully go right inside. You don't want it to be pointy right there on the end. And then you can place your brush like that and lightly pull. Okay, then we'll add another one right on the top. This roof line. And then underneath, take a little bit more of the dark color. The ochre, maybe a little bit of that red. Just a little bit over right there. And we've got a little chimney here. Not too much detail, just a few little lines. Some yellow ochre on the tip, a little highlight. And a few little taps. Add a little bit of red up there. Just tap down here a little bit with that dark color. It's got more of a brown tone to it now. I'm going to make a light peach color right over here. And we'll come in very lightly. Add some patches of where that sunlight is hitting. I'm going to go right in here. I'll have to place my window in here again after. We're going to have this bush that comes and grows up over here, so we don't have to worry too much if it looks messy. Don't worry, guys. It's very normal to get to a stage mid-process, I would say, in your paintings where everything looks wrong, it looks ugly, it looks like it's not going to work out, like you did everything wrong. When you get to that stage, know that you're in a good place. That is completely normal to get to that stage. Everything should look weird and wrong. What you have to do is just push that feeling aside and keep moving on and focus on one thing at a time and forget about that. Don't judge your painting until, I always tell my students the next day, because your eyes are kind of out of focus when you're working on a piece. So don't judge it until it's completely done, till the next day. And that's probably the best advice I could give you guys. A lot of my students said that they saved a lot of their paintings and they looked at their art in a different light after that. So I'm just taking a little bit of my lemon yellow, a little bit of peach left on my brush, mix it with a bit of white. So we just want a warm yellow right now. And do a little line like that, and then go down for a nice color right there from the sun. Nice warm yellows and peaches are so pretty. You just feel that sunlight. Let's add a little bit of peach right in there. A few little patches of it here. A little little bit more white on my brush. So a little line on an angle, just using the corner of my brush. And then straight down. Take a bit of blue before I wash my brush out. And I'm just going to go in here, go straight down. Put a bit of shadow like that. And then right in here is that bit of roof line. And I'm going to move on to this area here. Take my cobalt blue, a little bit of white, so it's fairly dry. And I'm going to come right underneath. Have the bushes right in there. Take a bit more cobalt blue. Way up on that blue. Let's add a little bit more. Always fun to use more color. Use my dark color again and go right under here, making that a little bit thicker. I'm going to turn my brush over like this, make a little line for a window. Little lines, and then we've got a window right about here. We'll do 3 little squares, and that's where this comes in really handy, this brush. So you can take your phthalo blue, mix it with your red sap green, and it'll give you a really nice dark color. So you can make 4 lines and then leave a space. Make another 4 lines. Carefully come inside. You don't even have to make it solid inside. Maybe there's a little bit of light in some spots. Okay, and then we're just going to have some foliage down here, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. And then maybe we have indication of a little window right there that doesn't have any lines in it. Okay, I'm going to add some more blue and white. Maybe right in here. Maybe there's a little window. Just like that, just a few lines. That's all you have to do. Let's take a little bit of our white, get that warm color on there. Maybe a few more little warm patches. Maybe there's a little bit hitting that part of the roof. take a bit more white and brighten this up. Couple lines. Bit more of our yellow with white. Some more of that in there. And in between. And I'll hold my brush. Pull and drag a little bit. Tiny little pink one here, just a mini little flat brush. And I'm going to take some pink and some orange, pink and orange. And I really just want to play up on the heat right here. Sorry, we've got a bark fest going on outside right now. I'm going to be adding some of my music I've been making to the background of my videos, guys. I got one of those little metal drums, and they sound like, they don't sound like a drum, they're so beautiful. They sound almost like a harp or wind chimes. So I'm going to add a little bit of this pink to there as well. And then I'm going to mix some white in with that. Just add a little detail, little tiny details. Little lines. All you have to do are little lines when you have this angle on a building for the indication of windows. And then take my white and my blue, cobalt blue, and I'm going to do little lines in there. Put some blue in the window. A little bit darker than that. Straight cobalt blue. Instead of leaving your windows black inside, it looks really neat to add some color. And I'm going to mix my cobalt blue with my red. Push a little bit on the very tip of my brush. And I'll come in here. Maybe I think I'm just going to do this one over. It's easier to do this first, and I should have done this first. The inside of the window, that black square, and then come over with the lines. It was too late before. I've got a little liner brush. These can be a little bit tricky to use, but I'm going to see here what I can do. Get it a little bit wet. Tint it with a bit of the blue. And 2 lines And then go across and across. A little bit more blue. Just kind of scumble this around in here. A little bit more color. And then a little line. And I'm going to take my sap green with my phthalo blue. I'm just going to come over have a little bit of it hanging down here, and then it comes way over here. And then we want to just kind of sneak over to here, come down, and then we'll be having some more in here. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of my pale green, mix it in with that dark, tap it out, and start adding just a little bit of a lighter color in here. It's far away, so we're not going to bother doing any detailed leaves. That's when this brush comes in really handy. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more green now, a little bit of yellow, and we'll add another layer of highlight in some spots, not all of them. Come over here again. I think that we have some space here that we could add some extra foliage and fill that gap in a little bit. So I'm going to take some of my sap green, a little bit of that lighter green, but mostly sap. Really lightly. Really lightly. Take some yellow ochre, a little bit of my lemon yellow, just a little hint of that in there, and then we'll pull in a little bit more of that peach color. Just going to soften this a little bit. It looks slightly blurry. And pick up some of our peach that we've got here with the yellow, a little bit more white, and let's go ahead and start tapping in. Maybe we've got some flowers down there. Let's take all three of those colors, make a really pretty one. Okay, so we'll just little tabs. Just a little bit more for highlights. and a bit of a glow. I'll switch over to my Filbert brush here for a second. I'm going to take my sap green and some phthalo blue, a little bit of that pale green. So we'll add in some cool greens now. Just do some lines for some shadows. Let's take some lemon yellow with our pale green. Let's bring that grass right back there. Make it look so far away. Could just maybe go around the corner there. Get a bit of water on my brush. Pick up some more of that green we made with phthalo blue. So you can change the mood of a painting and the time of day, the lighting, so quickly and easily. So it's up to you how much light you want in your painting. Lately I've been kind of feeling more of a moody, serene, calm vibe. And kind of those relaxing evenings when the sun started to go down. Use a Filbert brush with a green and just add a few little flecks in there. A little bit. Take my red and I'm just going to start tapping a little bit here. Maybe there's some flowers. Take some phthalo blue, a little bit of white. A little bit more of my green. To start our flowers, I'm going to start building up some foliage here. I'm going to take those greens again, warm it up a little bit with some yellow, some pale green, and tap a little bit in there, a little bit like that. Back to our Filbert. Take some white, mix those greens, so we get a few different greens on there. Start adding some little leaves, pushing different directions, just for some foliage here in the foreground, and then we'll come in with our flowers. Add some yellow. A little bit of light areas here. Light's hitting right in here. A little bit of yellow ochre, lemon yellow. Blend the two. It's okay if you still have a little bit of green on your brush. Little dots. I'll switch over to my liner brush, take my cadmium yellow, a little bit of lemon yellow, water my brush down slightly, and then start pulling in a few little stems. Get a bit of white on there. Warm it up with a little bit of peach. Take my pink, orange, tap, dab, and wiggle, and make some flowers. Whatever you want them to be. I just want to use all these pretty warm colors. And do little lines. As it gets farther away, you can add more taps closer together. Add a little bit of cadmium red in here too. I'm going to go back over to my mini flat brush. I'm going to take some phthalo blue, a little bit of white, pale green. Just want to make some more leaves down here that are a little bit bluer. We can add some cooler blues up here on the shadow side. And just add, just for fun, a little bit of a minty green outline there. Add a little flecks of it wherever you want to have another shadow color. You can just tie this in here a little bit. Very loose painting here, guys. Let's just tap in a few little blue bushes here on the side. More of our yellow, white, and orange, little ball like that. bit back here. Back over to my Filbert, number 8. And I've picked up some of my neon purple violet. Took just a little bit of white with that. And here in the shadows, we've got a pretty little cherry blossom tree. Pick up just straight neon purple violet now. This is going to dry a little bit darker. It'll be the right shade. Little flowers in here. They can look like little roses. Take a little bit of white on the tip of your brush. Twist, twist. I'll take some phthalo blue with that neon purple violet. Bit of white. And over part of that. Such a pretty color. Maybe incorporate some up here. We've got some hydrangeas. It's so fun to make up your own paintings. Part of this was inspired by a beautiful picture I saw, and I don't really use reference photos, but sometimes I'm really inspired and they give me ideas. And then once you start going with that, you just get so many different ideas. The creativity just starts rolling and flowing. We'll have a little bit of a purpley base down there next to that peach because it's really complementary. And maybe just dust over a little bit in here. You can make a few little delphiniums. Actually, I know what I need to do. I need to add a little highlight. We're just going to add a little hint right there. So subtle. You can even just barely touch the canvas and lightly drag your brush over. I'm going to take a little bit of white and a little bit of phthalo. Do a few more lines in here. a little ball of orange and white. Take a little bit of white, add a few little wiggles in there. Okay, so I'm going to take my neon pink. Add some pretty pinky purpley flowers. Swirl it in with a little bit of white. See how you don't have to be too careful when painting flowers. You can be kind of messy. And they still look really pretty. So you can take a little bit of white with your pink. Flowers, little dots and dabs. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white to my blue here. A little bit of highlight to some of these. Dry flat brush, we're going to take a little bit of white. Dry brush and take a little bit more of my green, yellow, light green. Now with the time of day that it is, this might be wrong, but I really feel like I want to have some sun rays coming down here, and I'm just going to go for it. Hope you guys aren't cursing me right now. A little bit like that. I really like that, and I'm glad I decided to do it. Okay, I'm going to call this painting all done. This turned out to be a long video again. I really wasn't planning on it. This one was meant to be quicker and smaller, but you know, time flies when you're having fun and creating. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for all of the continued support that you're giving me on my channel. It means a lot to me. You guys showing me that you value my content by subscribing to my channel, liking the video, leaving a comment, and also becoming a patron of mine over on my Patreon page. all of you guys are making it possible for me and making me want to keep doing my channel and delivering this content and these art lessons for you guys. So I will see you next time very soon. Stay positive, stay healthy, and happy painting. Bye everybody.